Hi, my name is Nikki Jones. I'm the Communications Director for the Alliance for Quality Education. We're New York State's largest coalition of grassroots organizations fighting for quality public schools. We partner with parents, students, teachers, and other community members to ensure that every student is given his or her opportunity to learn. It's particularly important in this economy that every student at every school has to choose to be college and career ready. Last year was a very active year for grassroots activism across the entire state of New York for a number of issues including marriage equality, housing, education, and of course Occupy Wall Street and all the other Occupy sites across the state. Hundreds of thousands or perhaps even millions of New Yorkers took to the streets to demand that equity and opportunity be restored to our economy, our government, our tax code, and our schools. Collectively, we stood arm in arm and shoulder to shoulder. We were a united voice demanding fairness for the 99%. Just weeks before the holiday season, the governor heard our voices and the legislature passed a reform to the tax code requiring multimillionaires to pay a higher tax rate than middle class and struggling New Yorkers. This plan is not as fair as the now expired millionaire's tax. It does include a tax cut for millionaires and billionaires, but it raises $2 billion our schools and communities desperately need, and more importantly, it's forward movement and a milestone in the fight for equity in New York State. We applaud Governor Cuomo on his many successes in his first year in office, but when it comes to equity and opportunity, there's more to be done. In last year's State of the State, the governor identified restoring New York as a progressive beacon for the rest of the nation as a top priority. At the end of the year, he reformed the personal income tax code, which moved our tax structure in the direction of equity and fairness. We are hopeful to hear in tomorrow's State of the State speech that Governor Cuomo will focus on fairness and equity for our school children in 2012. In 2012, New York State must return fairness and equity to our public schools. Last year, poor and average needs schools received cuts that were 2 to 3 times as large as those in wealthy districts. Last year's $1.3 billion state school cut eliminated 11,000 teaching positions, increased class sizes, and reduced critical programs such as after-school, tutoring, and sports. Many children are now in overcrowded classrooms and are denied critical educational programs and services. As a result, they will likely find it much harder to reach their educational goals. The impact of state school aid cuts was significantly greater in poorer districts. It's simple. When Albany slashes school funding, wealthier districts are financially better equipped to step in and protect their schools. There is no denying that students are experiencing very severe cuts as a result of the 2011 state budget cut. The New York State Board of Regents has provided a roadmap for ensuring that all students are given an opportunity to learn by prioritizing funding for high need and average need schools. The Regents proposal will prioritize students in rural communities and New York City, in our large cities, and in needy suburbs and small cities. The Regents' proposal to prioritize school aid for high need and average need school districts should be reflected in the budget. Almost everyone can agree that in these tight economic times, focusing aid on those districts that have been severely devastated due to Albany's budget cuts makes sense, and it's the right thing to do. The governor has committed to restoring $800 million in school aid in this year's budget, and he will be able to deliver this in large part because of the tax code reform. We will all be looking attentively to see if this year's aid is distributed fairly and prioritized as high and average needs districts as proposed by the Board of Regents. This will be the next measure of success in restoring New York to that progressive beacon that the governor spoke about at this same time last year. We need a high-quality education system which improves student performances and prepares students for college and careers in the 21st century. This is what's important to students and to parents. In recent years, as a result of reforms modeled after No Child Left Behind, there has been a growing emphasis on test scores as the single measure of educational accountability. Narrowing the focus of our education system to test prep is not working. It's not preparing students for success in college and careers. It is not the approach taken by the nations that are widely recognized as the international leaders in education. Judging our schools based primarily on test scores in 2 subject areas has resulted in teaching to the test, narrowing the curriculum and dumbing down public education. All of our students, not only those in wealthiest communities, need access to a demanding curriculum that prepares them for college and careers. They need high-quality teaching in every classroom. They need us to fulfill our promise of making pre-kindergarten available for every student. because quality pre-kindergarten raises graduation rates and ultimately raises the income levels of students when they reach adulthood. They need effective programs for English language learners, and they need effective interventions to assist students who are below grade level and help them catch up. All of these successful educational strategies cost money, but unfortunately they have been frequently put aside as a result of state budget cuts, cuts which have been particularly harsh for our most high-need students. We need accountability, including holding our state accountable to fulfill its constitutional obligation to provide every student access to a sound basic education and a meaningful high school education. We have to move to a place where New York is fulfilling its promise to provide every student with an opportunity to learn, from early childhood to college and career readiness. We need to close the gap in educational opportunity and outcomes between schools in the wealthiest districts and in those in our poorer communities, not by lowering the quality of the education in our best schools, but by raising it in those that serve our neediest students. While this may be a new year, we are still finding ourselves at a place where we have to fight for fairness in our public schools. Every student in every community in every school should be provided with an opportunity to learn and be graduating from high school, college, and career ready. This is what a progressive New York would and should look like. AQE will continue to partner with parents and communities across the state, as well as students and teachers, and organize and mobilize to demand our fairness for our students. 1 week from today, on January 10th, hundreds of parents and community members will be coming to Albany to demand a budget that prioritizes fairness and educational opportunity for every student. Please join us. Visit aqeny.org to find out how you can be involved and to sign up for email updates from AQE. On behalf of AQE's leaders and staff across the entire state, I wish you all a happy and progressive New Year.